Welcome to another episode of Trend Talkcast. We are sorry that we have bad news. Famous director and writer David Lynch just died.
Yeah, it's really sad news for all of us. He was such a visionary.
Yeah, January 16th, 2025.
A tough day for the art world.
I think a lot of us were really hit hard by this news. He was only 78.
Yeah, way too young.
So,
Yeah.
rather than dwell on the sadness, I thought, maybe we could celebrate his life, his career, and really dig into what made his work so impactful.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to honor him, to really explore his legacy. Because he wasn't just a filmmaker, he was a painter, a musician, a visual artist. He even designed furniture.
He did?
A true creative force in every sense of the word.
Absolutely. And you know what's interesting to me is how his influence goes way beyond film. I was reading this article in PC Gamer the other day about this game Moroi, and the developers are citing Lynch as a direct inspiration.
Oh, wow.
Specifically,
Mhm.
that surreal, dreamlike quality he was known for.
Yeah, it's that ability to tap into something primal, something unsettling yet strangely beautiful. That, I think, makes his work so enduring. You see that across his entire career, from those early short films he made all the way to his final music video collaboration with Christabel.
Okay, so let's unpack this journey then. He was born in Missoula, Montana, back in 1946. Now, I read he had a pretty typical American childhood, but those artistic inclinations showed up early on, right?
Oh, absolutely. He actually studied painting at the Pennsylvania Academy of the Fine Arts before ever even touching a film camera.
Wow.
And that background, I think it's crucial to understanding his whole cinematic style.
Right, because he wasn't just filming stories. He was painting with light and shadow on the screen.
Exactly. And he famously said that he found color too real. He preferred to work in black and white to get that dreamlike effect.
Interesting.
He saw darkness as a space where the mind could wander, where fears and desires could manifest.
Fascinating. And you really see that in his first feature film, Eraserhead. That film really burrows into your subconscious.
Eraserhead is pure Lynchian surrealism, bizarre imagery, industrial soundscapes, this deeply unsettling atmosphere. It was independently produced, struggled to find an audience at first, but eventually became a midnight movie phenomenon.
I love that it had that kind of cult following. And here's where it gets really interesting. He actually planned on making a totally different film called Garden Back, based on one of his paintings.
Wow, I didn't know.
But when he started at the AFI Conservatory in 1970, he found it so chaotic, with everyone trying to influence his work, he actually quit.
He did, wow.
Only returned when they agreed to let him work without interference. Imagine having that kind of conviction that early in your career.
It speaks volumes about his dedication to his artistic vision.
I mean, later on, he even turned down directing Return of the Jedi, and he was a Star Wars fan.
He was. But he believed that film should reflect George Lucas's vision, not his own.
Wow.
And it's that uncompromising spirit that led him to create some truly groundbreaking work, like The Elephant Man, a critical and commercial triumph. That earned 8 Academy Award nominations.
Yeah. It's such a shift from the surrealism of Eraserhead. What do you think it was about The Elephant Man, this biographical drama, that resonated so well with audiences?
Even within a more conventional genre, Lynch found ways to inject his unique style, the black and white cinematography, the focus on both the grotesque and the beautiful, Angelo Badalamenti's haunting score. It all creates a distinctly Lynchian experience.
Yeah. And speaking of Badalamenti, their collaboration became legendary. He went on to score many of Lynch's films, Blue Velvet, Twin Peaks. Their work together is just so iconic.
It's a masterclass in mood and atmosphere. Badalamenti's music perfectly captured the emotional depth and unease. That permeates Lynch's worlds. And that brings us to Dune, a notoriously difficult book to adapt. And even Lynch, with his experience creating strange and wonderful worlds, found it challenging.
Yeah. He actually called it a total nightmare, right?
He did.
And the film got mixed reviews. But I've always been fascinated by the visuals. Just think about the oil planet Giedi Prime, with its sets made of steel, bolts, and porcelain. That's pure Lynch.
Even if the narrative didn't quite capture the full scope of Frank Herbert's novel, you can't deny the visual impact of Dune. It's a feast for the eyes.
Absolutely. And speaking of contracts, wasn't he obliged to make 2 more films for Dino De Laurentiis after Dune?
He was.
Makes you wonder what those lost projects could have been.
It really does. Knowing Lynch, they would have been something truly unique and unforgettable.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But let's shift gears now and dive into what many consider his most iconic works, Blue Velvet and Twin Peaks.
These projects cemented his status as a master of suspense and surrealism. Blue Velvet with its exploration of the dark underbelly of suburbia, marked a return to the darker themes he'd first explored in Eraserhead and then Twin Peaks. Co-created with Mark Frost, became a full-blown cultural phenomenon.
Oh, yeah.
That log lady, the cherry pie, the never-ending question, who killed Laura Palmer?
Amazing how he made something so strange and unsettling, also so captivating.
It really is. It was groundbreaking television. It blended soap opera elements with the surreal, often nightmarish atmosphere, and it hooked audiences with its mysteries and those quirky characters.
And it's not just darkness. He was a master at balancing the dark with humor.
And speaking of balancing acts, he actually made another film, Wild at Heart, while working on the first few episodes of Twin Peaks.
His creative energy was boundless. Wild at Heart, with Nicolas Cage and Laura Dern, was a wild ride, literally. It even won the Palme d'Or at the 1990 Cannes Film Festival.
That's incredible that he was juggling these projects at the same time, each one so distinct and yet undeniably Lynchian.
Yeah, it speaks to his dedication to his craft. He was always pushing boundaries, experimenting with new ideas, challenging the audience's expectations, and he wasn't afraid to revisit his past work either.
You're talking about the Twin Peaks prequel film, Firewalk with Me.
Yes.
It went even deeper into the dark side of that story, didn't it? Much darker. Much more disturbing. Firewalk with Me explored themes of abuse and trauma with this unflinching honesty. That alienated some fans at the time, but looking back, it's a powerful and essential part of the Twin Peaks story.
And it shows that Lynch was never content to just rehash old ideas. He always wanted to explore new territory, even if it meant taking risks.
He was a true artist in that sense. He wasn't interested in easy answers or predictable narratives. He wanted to provoke, to unsettle, to make us question our perceptions of the world. And he continued to do so throughout his later career. Take Mulholland Drive, for example. It started as a TV pilot, but it morphed into the cinematic masterpiece, a film that earned him the Best Director Award at Cannes in 2001.
It's one of those films that stays with you, full of mystery, intrigue, and of course, that signature Lynchian surrealism.
Absolutely.
It's like a fever dream you can't shake.
You really feel that.
Those images just burrow into your subconscious. And they just linger for days.
And he didn't shy away from new technology either. In the early 2000s, he experimented with internet distribution, creating online series like Dumbland and Rabbits.
Can you imagine Lynch directing Return of the Jedi? Apparently. He was a fan of Star Wars, but ultimately felt it should be Lucas's vision, not his.
Exactly. He was offered the director's chair for Return of the Jedi, but he turned it down, believing that the film should reflect George Lucas's vision.
Wow. I guess some things are just meant to be.
Right.
Dumbland. Definitely out there. Even for Lynch.
Oh, yeah.
But it shows his willingness to experiment, to push the boundaries of storytelling, and find new ways to connect with his audience.
He was a true innovator, always exploring new forms of expression. And that leads us to his experimental film Inland Empire, released in 2006.
Yeah. Clocking in at 3 hours. It's his longest film. And it's a real head trip.
It is.
It stars Laura Dern, another frequent collaborator. And it's a testament to his ability to create these complex, multi-layered worlds that defy easy categorization.
Inland Empire is a film that demands multiple viewings. With each viewing, new layers of meaning and interpretation reveal themselves. Lynch's mastery of mood and atmosphere is on full display in this film.
It's as if he's creating a dreamscape on screen, inviting us to get lost in its labyrinthine corridors.
It really is.
And speaking of dreamscapes, he even directed a Duran Duran concert that was streamed live on YouTube in 2011. He blended music and visuals in a truly unique way.
He was a true multimedia artist, seamlessly moving between film, music, and visual art. And of course, we can't forget his return to Twin Peaks in 2017 for a third season.
Oh man, what a television event that was. No one saw it coming.
It really came out of nowhere.
And it proved that Lynch's magic hadn't faded. The new season was just as strange, captivating, and thought-provoking as the original. Amazing how he was able to recapture the spirit of the show after all those years.
It speaks to the enduring power of Twin Peaks and to Lynch's ability to create worlds that resonate with audiences on a deep emotional level. And, you know, it's worth noting that beyond filmmaking, Lynch had a thriving career as a painter, musician, and visual artist. He was even an author, publishing Catching the Big Fish in 2006, a book about the influence of transcendental meditation on his creativity.
Right. Transcendental meditation was a huge part of his life. He was a passionate advocate for its benefits, even founding the David Lynch Foundation. to promote it
Yeah.
and make it accessible to more people.
He believed that TM was essential to his creative process, helping him tap into a deeper level of consciousness and unlock his artistic potential.
It's a testament to his belief in the power of inner peace and its connection to creativity.
And his artistic vision. His signature style is unmistakable, whether it's in his paintings, his music, or his films. You can always recognize a David Lynch creation.
Absolutely.
He was a true original, and his work has inspired countless artists across various mediums.
And that's what makes his passing even more poignant. The art world has lost a true visionary.
His final years were marked by health challenges, but he continued to create, releasing a music video collaboration with Christabel in June 2024.
It's inspiring to see that he never stopped pursuing his artistic passions, even in the face of adversity.
He was a true testament to the power of creativity and the human spirit.
What a legacy he leaves behind. A vast and influential body of work that will continue to inspire and challenge audiences for generations to come.
His films, his art, his music, they all invite us to step outside of our comfort zones, to embrace the strange and the beautiful, and to explore the hidden depths of our own subconscious minds.
He once said, "Everyone should find their own voice. It's not about copying."
That's a powerful message. It's something that we can all take to heart, no matter what our creative pursuits may be. David Lynch was a true original, and his work will continue to resonate long after his passing.
Yeah, it's hard to put into words the impact he had, not just on cinema, but on art in general.
It really is. It's that unique ability to evoke a feeling, an atmosphere that you just can't shake.
Yes, like you don't just watch a Lynch film, you experience it. It gets under your skin.
Exactly. He understood the power of sound, of imagery, of letting the subconscious take over.
And this is where I think his background in painting really comes through. He wasn't afraid of the abstract, of leaving things open to interpretation.
He once said, "I wouldn't know what to do with color. Color to me is too real. It's limiting. It doesn't allow too much of a dream."
Wow. So for him, black and white wasn't just an artistic choice. It was a way to unlock the dreamlike, the surreal.
Absolutely. And he even applied this philosophy to his paintings. He incorporated words and letters, not just as text, but as shapes, as textures. That added another dimension to his work.
But he was always pushing the boundaries of what art could be, how it could make us feel.
And he never stopped exploring. In his later years, he designed furniture, created a nightclub in Paris, and even launched his own brand of coffee.
Talk about a diverse portfolio. Seems like there was no limit to his creative energy.
That's what's so inspiring about Lynch. He was a testament to the idea that you can pursue your passions, no matter how unconventional they may seem.
And he did it all while being a vocal advocate for transcendental meditation.
He truly believed in the power of TM to enhance creativity and promote inner peace. It's a message he shared throughout his life, even speaking at the Maharishi University of Management's commencement ceremony in 2016.
Wow. It's amazing to think that a filmmaker known for exploring the darkest corners of the human psyche was also such a staunch advocate for inner peace.
It speaks to the complexity of his character and the depth of his artistic vision. He embraced both the light and the darkness, recognizing that they were two sides of the same coin.
Right. It's a reminder that great art often comes from grappling with those contradictions, exploring the full spectrum of human experience.
Exactly. And that's what makes Lynch's work so enduring. It challenges us, it provokes us, and it stays with us long after we've encountered it.
So what does this all mean for us, for those of us left behind, to grapple with his absence?
I think Lynch would want us to keep exploring, to keep questioning, and to never be afraid to dive into the unknown.
He once said, "Ideas are like fish." What fish might he have caught next if he had more time? It's a question that will linger in our minds. A reminder that his creative journey was cut tragically short.
But his legacy remains. The films, the art, the music. It's all there for us to discover, to interpret, to be inspired by.
And that's a powerful thing. To leave behind a body of work that continues to spark conversations, to challenge perceptions, to make people feel.
David Lynch was one of a kind.
He truly was. And that's it for our deep dive into the life and legacy of David Lynch. It's been an emotional journey, but I think we've only scratched the surface of what his work has to offer. I encourage you to explore his films, his art, his music, and discover your own interpretations. Trust me, it's a journey worth taking.